Yeah, we bring reviews of your house, talk to our dudes of your house. I bring my views of your house, wrestling truths of your house. We talk to you in your house, we keeps it cool in your house, we keeps it cool in your house. I'm spitting truths in your house.
Yes, Mark's hating on his fans, Becky's niche on the man. Play with two like alliance, household a dangerous alliance. I am an like Cody, and I'm overcoming like Kobe. No, they cannot hold me. Come listen, I'm hosting, critiquing, I'm boasting. This wrestling I'm knowing.
I need you to arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. All of y'all who think we need more evidence, you goofy. I said arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. And Elijah McClain too. Y'all hold that boy. Arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. All of y'all who think we need more evidence, you goofy. I said arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. You catch the vibe? Now get off my page.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House, starring Alakon House. This is the People's Podcast. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boy Con, ready to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. That is what we do, and hey, we love it. So let me let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's all right. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. And ooh, where is the clock? I'm checking the time because last time that I checked, In Your House was the hottest professional wrestling podcast in the Midwest, cause we hit them with that wargity round the clock. You guys already know what it is. Oh yes, the director is in the house, and you know where I am, in your house for another edition of, well, that's the name of the podcast, In Your House. And guys, happy to be back once again. I just have to say that it always feels good to step in front of the microphone, hear that intro play, and do my intro that you guys have gotten so used to, and it just feels good. It just feels good. I am up early on a Sunday morning. I was up. My wife was up. We are in a great mood. We've been in a great mood all weekend. We have been very, very busy. Very, very busy. Of course, you guys know some of the stuff that I've told you that's been going on as far as why I was absent and things of that nature. But now I'm back. But man, we've been so busy. I will tell you this, in all seriousness, we've been working really hard trying to become homeowners, you guys. We're trying to buy a house. How about that? Doing a little adulting. That's some next level adulting, you guys. And we are very close. Very close. We can almost taste it. So close to closing on the perfect home for us and our family. And I'm really, really excited. She's excited. It's all we can talk about. But I promise I'm not going to talk your guys' ears off about it, because this is a podcast where we talk about wrestling and things of that nature. And it's not all my personal business, even though I feel like my personal business could fill up an entire podcast. I'm always so busy, but no, It's great. It really is great. Before we really get down to the brass tacks of it, because we're dropping this on a Sunday morning. We're calling it Super Sunday. I don't know why I decided to call it Super Sunday. It just made it sound cool, you know. Maybe it had something to do with NXT's Super Tuesday that's going on, and that's gonna be awesome. That's definitely something that I'd like to talk about. But in non-wrestling related news, man, just a couple of tough losses, really tough. The Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman passed away at the age of 43 after a 4-year battle with colon cancer, and man, he really kept that close to his chest. Man, what a fighter! Of course, he played Black Panther, but he also played 20th century icons, Jackie Robinson, James Brown. Just, that's a tough loss, man. It's such a tough loss. I mean, that's my son's favorite superhero, Black Panther. Great movie. Really enjoyed it. We sat up there and watched it ourselves, and we both really enjoyed it. And man, Wakanda forever, man. Wakanda forever, because that dude was fighting, taking all these roles and just being a fantastic actor while dealing with something like colon cancer. And cancer seriously sucks, you guys. I mean, if you guys have listened to any of my previous episodes where that comes up, I have had a relationship with cancer because of my mother, and it's just terrible. It's terrible to see what this disease does to people. But you know, he didn't put it out there publicly. He fought it privately, still worked hard to become the actor that he became. Rest in peace, man. Rest in power, brother. Wakanda forever, and you will not be forgotten. That's for sure. Another loss, NBA player who I came up watching, Uncle Cliffy's gone. Uncle Cliffy's not here with us anymore. Clifford Robinson passed away at the age of 53, also over the weekend. Portland Trailblazers legend, former All-Star, 18-year NBA veteran, 6th man of the year. He was really one of the first players that I saw that wore the headband. You know, the headband became such a huge trend in the NBA. It still is. A lot of players still wear it. But yeah, Uncle Cliffy was one of the first that I saw play or wear it, that is, and he was really one of those first players, one of those big guys. I think he was about 6'10", yeah, power forward, one of those first power forwards that stretched the floor like that with the long range shot that I remember, could hit the three. And that, like I said, there could have been more before him, but Clifford Robinson was memorable for me because of the way that he played. And now you see a lot of those unicorn guys now, a lot of those big 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys that stretch the floor and can hit the three and the long range jumper and stuff. That's our NBA now. That is the regular NBA. And but back then, Clifford Robinson was one of the first that I saw to do it. So rest in peace to Uncle Cliffy. Just, it's been a tough weekend, man. Tough weekend for losses. And I hope they both rest in power. And yeah, Wakanda forever. Uncle Cliffy, you won't be forgotten. Chadwick, neither will you. So no easy way to transition out of that, so I'm not even going to try to. There's no point in trying to have a witty transition from that. Those are just a couple of tough losses. They truly are. But now we have to move on to Super Sunday, where if you guys followed my story on my social media, I said I was going to drop an episode today, Super Sunday, where I was going to talk a little bit about Smackdown, but really break down Payback that's going down tonight. The Payback pay-per-view a week after SummerSlam, that I guess was supposed to be quote-unquote part 2 of SummerSlam, which, okay, fine, whatever, you know, I gotta admit, I don't hate it. I thought I was going to, because I'm thinking to myself, how do you have a pay-per-view a week after another pay-per-view? How do you have time to build anything? But honestly, I think they did a pretty decent job of getting people invested in tonight's show. I know I am, for a couple of different reasons, and we'll get into that. But Smackdown really kicked off. We got a chance to see Vince. Vince comes back. That's his second week in a row, I do believe. And he gives the tough task to Adam Pearce to get signatures for the Universal Championship match between The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns, who's returned, and we definitely have a lot to talk about him, and Braun Strowman. Vince is giving poor Adam Pearce this task to get signatures from these guys. But Vince is good as ever with his nice blue suit. Looks like a cheap car salesman, man. Vince is good as ever. The man, he's gonna die in that office. He's gonna die in front of that camera. Vince he just doesn't look any worse for wear, I gotta say. Vince McMahon is timeless. He's timeless. I don't think that man is ever gonna. He obviously is, but it just doesn't feel like it because he's always been here. But yeah, he gives him that tough task. So we'll see how that goes as the night progresses. And we did see how it went as the night progressed for Adam Pearce. Jeff Hardy ready to defend the Intercontinental Championship, and you have AJ Styles coming out and says Jeff is a cheater and had to use a foreign object to defeat him. Jeff holds an open challenge for the Intercontinental Championship, and Shinsuke Nakamura accepts. They have a decent match. Not really gonna break down. This isn't the Pope's podcast, guys. All right, he breaks down matches and everything, and he does a great job of it. I don't break down matches if I don't feel like they need breaking down, so I'm not gonna do it. But Jeff successfully defends, and as he's going up the ramp, we have a returning Sami Zayn with the Intercontinental Championship title of his own, saying that he was never defeated, although he was stripped. And he's saying that he's the true Intercontinental Champion. I always like these types of storylines because it always leads to a good quote-unquote title versus title match. He comes out, his hair's gotten really long, still has that ska type music going on. I don't know why, when his whole thing is a great liberator, and his music, if he's running heel, that music just doesn't match to me. I definitely think that when he turned heel, the music should have changed, and it didn't. Not really sure why, but I don't know. It just doesn't work for me with him running heel. It seems like a happy-go-lucky babyface type of theme. So, yeah, I was hoping that it was different, but still happy to see Sami Zayn. It looks like we're going to be leading to a very interesting triple threat match between Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles. And if that's the case, give it to me. I'll take it. I'm here for it. I want to. Yeah, SmackDown was good. I mean, when you can have your Intercontinental Championship scene and it entails wrestlers like Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much of a WWE hater or Mark or Smark or whatever you are. That's good. That's good, man. So, and then he just defended it against Shinsuke Nakamura just a few moments earlier. I really feel like sometimes fans just complain to complain, because that was all good to me. That was all good to me. So it is what it is, and I'll definitely be looking forward to that. I'm not even sure if they're on the Payback card. I'm not for sure about that. That's something I'll have to look into, and I will as soon as we get to the point of covering Payback, which we will a little bit later on in this episode. But back to poor Adam Pearce, man. We had to get back to Adam Pearce as he is ringing on the doorbell to the Firefly Funhouse. What is up? How come everybody has the Funhouse's address now? It seems like everybody can get there now. Kind of takes away the mystique a little bit, I think. I'm not going to complain too much about it, but it does. To me, it takes away the mystique that somehow everybody knows how to get there now. Like, I remember it just seemed like it was a place that nobody can get to, or if it was like in Bray Wyatt's head, inside of his psyche. but now it seems like everybody can get there now. And I think the first one who got there was Seth Rollins. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think he was the first wrestler to get to the Firefly Funhouse and beat up Bray Wyatt within the Firefly Funhouse, and then I think he set it on fire. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. I don't know everything. I'm just going off of memory. But I feel like that was the case. But back to Postman Pierce. Postman Pierce coming in his United States Postal Service gear. Are we getting a little political on SmackDown? Are we getting a little political with Retribution, rioting, and Postman Pierce with the controversy with the USPS? I mean, wrestling has always been good at, kind of art imitating life, and it's always been some of it has been in its best form when it does that. So, when you go away from that and you're not doing the art imitating life type of thing, sometimes it's kind of disconnected. But when you do those type of things, it connects. And I know that some people are triggered by the Retribution thing with the riots and the protests and everything like that. But you got to understand that wrestling has always done this. Wrestling has always been topical with the current times, and I really think that they were missing out by not doing it, because I think they tried to stay away from it for a while there and trying to stay in their own realm inside their own universe. But I think art imitating life is always something that you can do to get people talking, and we live in a triggered society now, so of course it's going to trigger more folks than it's going to please, but it is what it is. But he comes knocking on the doorbell, He comes knocking on the door, rings the doorbell, comes in and tries to get a signature from Bray Wyatt. And he said, why would you need a signature from me? And he basically tells him, well, he's the most affiliated with him being the Fiend. So he gets the signature, and Pierce hurries on out of there. That was kind of funny to me. I was entertained by that. I do like the Firefly Funhouse. I always have. I don't know, man. It's weird to me because as much as I like Bray Wyatt, I'm very, very anxious to see where this babyface run goes. Is he running babyface? Is that what we're doing now? We'll see, I guess. I mean, Braun is being a heel, or being heelish, doing heelish things. Roman's kind of doing the same thing. It's not like right there in your face, but it's implied, definitely kind of subtle. So we're going to see how a possible babyface Bray Wyatt goes. Matt Riddle defeats Shorty G. I'm not into what Matt Riddle, Shorty G, and King Corbin have going on, so I'm not going to waste too much time on it. It's just not interesting to me. I know that they're trying to establish Matt Riddle on the roster, but it's not interesting to me at all, and I'm just not going to waste any more time on it. But one thing I do want to talk about is this Bayley and Sasha Banks thing. Boy, are they slow burning to this Bayley and Sasha Banks feud, which I think if they do it, and if it's even half as good as their match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, the first one, and with the story that they can tell with them being best friends and Bayley kind of throwing shade right in front of her face. Oh, this could be good, guys. This could be so good. I'm here for it. I am here for it. I think that these two can have a fantastic wrestling match, and then you add the story in there of the broken friendship, and you got a 5-star. You got a potential 5-star on your hands there, guys, because these two, they can go. I like where it's going. They've built it up slowly. Sasha Banks can't hold on to that women's championship. I think she's 0 for 5 in her first defenses, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Like I said, I do not know everything, and I don't claim to know everything, you guys. But if she's 0 for 5, that's tough. That is tough. That means you're winning the championship, but you can't defend it worth a damn. That ain't good. That is not good. But, man, Bayley throwing the shade, saying she blames herself for putting Sasha in the situation to lose the Raw Women's Championship, since it's well known that Sasha can't successfully defend it. Sasha didn't like hearing that. But before things got too heated, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler interrupt, claim they're going to take the women's championships tonight, that is, at Payback. And as much as I'm not really behind this pairing, I'm going to say it here right now, and I'll say it later. With everything going on with Bayley and Sasha Banks, not so sure they're going to successfully defend. We'll see, but I'll break that down more once we get into that Payback, that is. And yeah, Braun Strowman is bald, and I don't like it at all. Hate it. I hate his new look. I know that he took the pinfall to the hairline, like he tapped out to the hairline, but God, he looks generic, especially the way he came out on Friday to fight Drew Gulak, who hit him in the back with a chair while Adam Pearce was looking for him. And Braun basically said, if you want my signature, get Drew Gulak out there in the ring. And he did. He squashed Drew Gulak. I mean, it was a squash. I mean, that was it. He squashed him, ends up getting Braun's signature, and things progress from there as Adam Pearce is now has the task to try to get Roman Reigns' signature, who has not been answering the door in his dressing room. He can't get. He'd already tried once at that point, I do believe, and he wasn't opening up. So Adam Pearce, and I like it. I'll say this before I move on to the next thing I want to talk about from SmackDown. I love it when a story progresses throughout the night. It shows that you care. It really does to me. It really does. I love when a story is moving on throughout the night. You're highlighting somebody like Adam Pearce got highlighted throughout the whole night of having that hefty task of getting those signatures. I love that. That's one of my favorite things that the Attitude Era did, was continue to tell stories through the night, and it's the same story, and you're not just like, oh, well, you have 5 or 10 minutes to tell this story, and then you're done for the entire night. No, you let it progress throughout the rest of the night, weaving stories in there with other stories. It can be done. You can do it. I love it. One thing I will say this. Another thing I want to say that I think that WWE is doing really cool, that is really cool, is when you're doing one thing, like, let's just say, and this is just off of memory, so it might not even be right, but you have Adam Pearce knocking on Roman Reigns' door, and then he's not getting an answer. So there's one story, and then he walks off a camera, and then the camera pans over to King Corbin getting interviewed. Like, you're telling 2 stories in one shot, and it just looks cool to me. I like that. That looks cool to me, that you're weaving stories in like that. Please keep that, because that's cool. It gives it this weird, like, not sitcom, it's not a sitcom, but like drama show type vibe where you're just telling the different stories. I really like it. Please keep that, because I like I like that method of weaving stories within each other. So that's really cool. Nikki Cross, who is there, Nikki Cross, who is there, and she's talking to Tamina. And Alexa Bliss she shows up and asks if she has one of her braids, or she likes one of her braids. She braided it and she wants to dye it or something. I didn't really get the whole mess of that. I was kind of in and out of it up until Alexa Bliss, her whole demeanor changes. She gets upset, broke the mug that Nikki had, because you had those two have those mugs that they have when they do their moment of bliss segments, where they're drinking, coffee, usually from Starbucks, being basic. But no, seriously, she breaks the mug. Something's going on with Alexa Bliss, man. That interaction she had with the Fiend, it did what has been done to everybody that comes in contact with the Fiend. It has changed her in some sort of way, and we're seeing that develop. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I want to see where it goes. It's just another thing that SmackDown is doing that I like. And I gotta say, it was a fun show to watch. It was a fun show to watch. I really enjoyed it. Big E and Heavy Machinery, they had a match against The Miz, Morrison, and Sheamus. Sheamus walked out on the team. Big E and Heavy Machinery wins. I don't really want to break that down too much. It wasn't interesting to me. Like Big E, hope he keeps getting pushed. But yeah, it just wasn't interesting to me, because the thing that's really interesting me, and I know it's interesting you guys out there in the 14 different countries all across these great United States and locally right here in Indiana, that's the ending. That's the ending. So yeah, Adam Pearce finally gets Roman Reigns to answer the door, and Roman Reigns is there, and he is just, his whole demeanor's changing, guys. I dig it. I like it. I really do. Really like his whole demeanor change. But that's not the part that's got everybody talking. He's there. He's looking at the contract. He pretty much said, and I kind of knew where it was going, but he said him winning the Universal title at Payback, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. And the camera widens to reveal that sitting right next to him is Paul Heyman. And he said, believe that. And boom, everything, it's good. I mean, man, it is definitely something I want to see. What is happening with Roman Reigns? We still don't know. I thought we was going to get an explanation on SmackDown. We didn't. I'm glad we didn't. I wanted it, but I'm glad we didn't, because there's this mystique around Reigns now you want answers. You want answers. Why is he acting the way that he's acting? Why did he affiliate himself with Paul Heyman? What's going on? I want to see it. You got to think that back when he was feuding with Brock, and I had this conversation with former In Your House guest Paragon, great kid, great. We had this conversation yesterday, and he had some issues with it as far as why would Roman, who is solid on the mic, who he can show out when he wants to, and he can on the mic. He's not bad on the mic. He's not. And if you think that he is, you're just hating, because he's not. There's way worse guys. But why would he need a mouthpiece like Paul Heyman? And they've had smoke in recent years with the Brock and Roman feud. Well, I even said this to rebuttal, and that is Punk didn't need Heyman. He could talk, but it still worked. And also, if you go back, if you really pay attention to that Brock and Roman feud, when Brock wasn't there and Heyman was there, he would always compliment Reigns, and you could tell he was coveting Reigns. But there was some conflict there, because his client, Brock Lesnar, had smoke with Roman, so he could never come out and say that I think he did at one point, but he could never truly say that he was coveting or wanted to represent Reigns. So if you ask me, I like that little sprinkle from years ago. Pay attention. Go back and listen to those promos to the build-up, and you'll see that I'm right on this. And it's very subtly sprinkled in there that he's always coveted Reigns. So to me, this makes sense, and I want to see it. It was a hell of an ending that had everybody on my social media talking, and I want to see where it goes. I'm very interested in Payback tonight just to see where this goes. And with that being said, since we've brought it right back around and now I'm bringing up Payback, I'm going to have to pay back some of these sponsors. But seriously, I'm very excited to talk about Payback, but I do have to talk about the sponsor here. So we're going to take a little break. I'm going to get some water. I've been talking a lot for about 30 minutes, you guys. But when we come back, we're going to break down Payback. I'm going to give what I think may happen at said pay-per-view. And yeah, we're going to continue Super Sunday. Hey guys, this is the director, Con House, of In Your House, and this episode is sponsored by Podcorn. Podcorn is a marketplace connecting podcasters to amazing podcast sponsorship opportunities such as host read ads, interview segments, topical discussions, and more. With Podcorn, there is no middleman. Podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on the platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without any exclusivities. You never give up any rights to your podcast, and Podcorn is here to support you at every step to ensure you're protected and compensated for the work that you do for brands. The marketplace mission is to give podcasters transparency, creative control, and freedom, and full control of how and when they monetize. So check the show notes on this episode and you will see a link to www.podcorn.com/podcasters. But now, it's time to get back to In Your House. Welcome back to In Your House, hosted by the director, Con House, and now we're going to continue Super Sunday. I hope you guys are enjoying yours. It is a Super Sunday, but we're going to continue it, and we're going to get into the Payback preview, where I'm going to talk about the matches on tonight's Payback pay-per-view and give my thoughts on what I think may happen and who may win these matches. Now, it looks like recently that on the pre-show has been added that the Iconics are going to be going up against Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, and that'll be interesting. They're going to be on the kickoff show. It's been a decent story. They haven't really put too much focus on it, even though I really did like Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan coming back together a few weeks ago. Felt real, felt authentic. That was really, really good. And you love it when things feel real like that. You love it when things feel genuine like that. Them coming together, there was tears, and it just felt real. So I thought they did a good job of selling that. But other than that, the story has just been, it's definitely lower on the card, which, it's on the kickoff show, obviously. But I'm not going to break that down too much. I'm just going to go with my thoughts here. My thoughts are, I'm thinking Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan are going to win the match. The Iconics have nothing to lose from losing that match. And I think they're going to keep pounding home Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan as a tag team and maybe build them up towards the Women's Tag Team Championships maybe a few months down the line. But definitely that win could help them. Doesn't hurt the Iconics. So yeah, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan is what I'm thinking is going to happen. Another match going down, it's going to be Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins and Murphy. This is a feud that's been building for months and months. It's in my opinion, one of the better feuds in all of WWE right now. And we all saw Dominic Mysterio get stomped by Seth Rollins in his match at SummerSlam right in front of his father, who was handcuffed. I think it's time for a little payback. I don't think maybe Dominic does get the pinfall, but I think that the Mysterios are going to win this match and get a little retribution between Seth Rollins and against Seth Rollins and Murphy. So I'm thinking that is going to go down. I think we see another really good outing from Dominic Mysterio. I do believe that. It'll be interesting to see some tag team dynamics between Rey Mysterio and his son. I hope to see it. That'll be really cool. And it's always cool to see a father-son tandem work together, no matter what profession it is. It always feels good. It always feels right. Yeah. I think the Mysterios are going to get a little form of revenge here and get that win against the Monday Night Messiah and Murphy. And to me, it would be the right move. I really think that it would be the right move. Taking that loss is not going to hurt Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is just annihilating this Monday Night Messiah gimmick. He is prominently featured. You think about the babyface Seth Rollins or even corporate Rollins when he had the Money in the Bank briefcase and he was with the Authority, or even Shield Rollins. Seth Rollins, no matter what you think of him, no matter how much you hate how he totes the company line with WWE, he's gotten really good at recreating himself. He just has. He has. You think about the reincarnations of Rollins that we've seen in the past. He is really developing quite the track record for himself as far as recreating himself and his character, and it's almost reminiscent of Chris Jericho. Maybe not to that effect. He's not there yet, but he's gotten really good at recreating himself, and I don't think it's going to hurt him at all to take this loss. Not one bit. So I think the Mysterios go over, and the obviously the feud's going to continue the next night, because I do believe Rey Mysterio has a match with Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. It's either him or Murphy, but correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I do think it's Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. I really do. So, yeah, Mysterios go over. Moving right along to Sheamus and Big E, another match that they've put together. Sheamus and Big E have been feuding for a little bit. Once again, I don't have a huge amount of interest in this. I'm just thinking Big E's going to go over and keep looking strong in his singles run, which is what they're kind of focusing on right now, so I don't know why he wouldn't win. Big E wins, and Big E continues to look good as a singles performer with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods out. Not really a whole lot to break down there, not in my opinion. I just think Big E wins. Next up is going to be Randy Orton versus Limitless Keith Lee. Hopefully they do something about the music. I know Keith Lee has alluded to it on his social media that people need to relax. Let him focus on the music. Let him focus on the attire. He was just paying respects to the people that brought him up by not, giving pushback, by not rocking the boat. And I think in the grand scheme of things, I trust Keith Lee to do what's best for Keith Lee. And it's not anybody else's job to worry about Keith Lee except for Keith Lee. So everybody that's going nuts on the internet, and I was one of them. I didn't like the attire. I didn't like the music. But this is Keith Lee's fight. It's not the internet's fight. Let that man deal with it. And I have a feeling that tonight at Payback, we're going to see that come to fruition. Things are going to be fixed. Because people weren't happy with it. Keith Lee said that he was, once again, doing it to pay respect. But I think that now that it's been received the way that it's been received, he's going to take care of it. So I trust that it's going to be taken care of. And he has a match with the legendary Randy Orton, as they had a match that didn't finish out on Monday Night Raw. I don't know how this is going to go. Part of me feels like at some point we're going to see a Retribution run-in. Maybe it'll be during this match, but I don't want to make that call. That's too bold to me to think that Retribution is going to interfere during this match. So I'm going to be bold again, and I'm going to think Keith Lee's going to win. I think Keith Lee's going to take the W against Randy Orton. I don't think it hurts Randy Orton. If anything, I think it gives Randy Orton more fuel to be the crazy, psychotic, mentally not all there guy that he's going to be. And if you do it like that, if Keith Lee beats him and shocks Randy Orton and just fuels Randy Orton to act more like a psychopath, I think that's good. And it doesn't hurt Randy Orton. Randy Orton's character development has always been solid throughout the years if you really pay attention. And I think that we don't have a WWE Championship match tonight. I think Randy Orton is gonna get his way back into it. We'll see what happens, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I think Keith Lee's gonna pick up a W. It's gonna be great for Keith Lee to beat Randy Orton, and it's definitely gonna set the tone for the rest of his career on Monday Night Raw. So, moving right along to the Golden Role Models here, Bayley and Sasha Banks, going up against Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. The thrown together team. Don't like it. Don't think it fits. But even though I don't like it, And even though I don't think it fits, I feel like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are going to win the championships. I think that the thrown together team are going to win the championships. I do. And it's not because they're the right ones to be the champions. It's because they have to fuel this Bayley and Sasha Banks storyline that it's coming. Bayley is going to go up against Sasha Banks, I'm telling you. And it's going to be great. They're telling a hell of a story with the little shots that Bayley's throwing out there at Sasha Banks. I am telling you, it's going down. So I think that it really picks up tonight at Payback when Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler win those Raw and SmackDown women's tag team championships. And I think that's what's going to go down, and Bayley and Sasha Banks are going to implode. I do. Moving right along to Apollo Crews going up against Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Apollo Crews has not been champion long enough. But for some reason, I think Bobby Lashley is going to win with help from the Hurt Business. One of my favorite things going down on Monday Night Raw. And you have, it's hard to keep track of the 24/7 championship. Is Shelton Benjamin still champion? I think he is. I have to check into that. But I think you want to put gold on the Hurt Business. I think you want to keep gold on the Hurt Business. I do. I really do. So something inside of me feels like that Bobby Lashley is going to win. Bobby Lashley is going to be the United States champion. And he is going to bring more gold to the Hurt Business. And the Hurt Business, I said it on the last episode, that the Hurt Business is good for business. And you put gold on those guys, it's going to make them look even better. I do. I really do. Let's see who the current 24/7 champion is. Who is it? Who is the current champion? I know we have the most reigns here with R-Truth. My goodness, 38 times. 38 times? My goodness. Okay, it's Akira Tozawa. I had to look that up. It's hard to keep track of that 24/7 title, guys. Sorry, it just is. It just is. But he'll win it back. We already know at some point they'll be running around chasing Akira Tozawa. He'll win it back. But now on to the main event that sees The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, going up against Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman, cool, and Braun Strowman in a triple threat no-holds-barred match for the Universal Championship. Now, here's what is odd to me. And I feel like he probably already said it or will say it, but I'm talking about my bro Pope. He's big on continuity, and it strikes me, too, to bring this up. It's a triple threat match. Why do you feel the need to call it no holds barred when a triple threat match is no DQ anyway? A fatal four-way is no DQ. A triple threat's no DQ. Usually any of those multi-man matches that are singles, every man for themselves, usually they're no DQ. So why do you feel the need to call this a no hold bars match when it's no disqualification anyway? So it would have been no holds barred whether you called it no holds barred or not. I don't know. I don't get that. But okay, I'll take it. It's cool. Fine. Let them destroy each other with weapons. It'll be cool. It's going to be a good match, I think. But I'm going out on a limb here. I don't know if it's going out on a limb. But I'm going to say that Roman Reigns is going to pin Braun Strowman. The Fiend's not taking the pin. He's not taking it. I just don't see that happening. But Roman Reigns is going to pin Braun Strowman and become the Universal Champion once again. And then he's going to be strutting out there on Friday. I hope, I'm praying to the wrestling gods here that Roman Reigns struts out Friday with Paul Heyman flanking him with the Universal Championship on his shoulder with a new theme and new gear and a new attitude. Roman Reigns. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The new Roman Reigns, and I am here for it. I will be the first one on the Roman Reigns bandwagon. No shame. Don't care. Hate me if you want to. I will be the first on the Roman Reigns bandwagon if he tweaks his music, tweaks his gear, and has a new attitude. I am here for it. And guys, I am here for Payback tonight. It seems like it's going to be a pretty solid show. It really does. Wrestling, it's professional wrestling's been it recently. I mean, it always is when you're a wrestling fan. But man, ooh. I want to throw out another pod this week for you guys talking about that Super Tuesday with NXT. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, are you as excited for this NXT Championship match on Super Tuesday as I am? I hope you guys are. I've never seen something like this before. A 60-man Iron Man match between Finn Balor, Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole, and Johnny Gargano, a fatal 4-way 60-minute Iron Man match? 60 minutes? Let's go. Let's go. With 4 great competitors. I mean, I feel terrible that Karrion Kross had to relinquish his championship. He's a cool wrestler. He like some, everybody said, oh, it's too soon, and yada yada yada. But his whole look and persona and everything, it's cool. I didn't have a problem with it, especially if you're bringing Keith Lee up. It sucked that Keith Lee had to, deal with losing those championships. I mean, he relinquished the North American Championship and then shortly thereafter loses the NXT Championship. But it still sucks for Karrion Kross. But my goodness, to get what we're getting Tuesday night on Super Tuesday, I'm going to be sitting in front of that TV ready to go. Ready to see this. And I'm ready to talk about it, and I'm ready to break it down with you guys, because that's one match I'll say, and we don't really break matches down here on In Your House, but that will be one that I will probably break down for you guys. I mean, I'll be locked in. And I hope you guys were locked into another great episode of In Your House, but we're going to ride off into the sunset and call this another great episode. You guys know that I have to give it to you. Hit you with these episodes. We're back on Super Sunday and hit y'all with that work. So, let me let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's all right. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. Hey guys, check it out. We're going to be talking about Super Tuesday on NXT. I'm going to try to find the time to throw out that episode this week and get y'all that work. Hey guys, what are you doing? Buy a freaking shirt. That's www.prowrestlingtees.com/in your house. Get this work. Get this shirt. And guys, we tell you this all the time. Hop on this bandwagon. Get on. Or get gone. Because the household, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great start to your week. Peace.